you mentioned on the 2015 the World Champs.
Mm-hmm.
That was, am I right in saying that was your debut when you represented Australia, like your first time representing Australia?
Yeah.
Can you talk about like where that was and what the experience was like in a very big competition?
Yeah, so the 2015 World Championships, that was, my first senior debut, which was in Beijing. And it was a really special, I think, first competition because that came off the back of a massive performance that I did in my year 12 year at Melbourne Grammar, which was the APS. So I jumped 229 in year 12 at the APS competition, and there was no expectation about that. And I jumped that, and sure enough, I'd qualified for the World Championships next year.
Yeah.
So getting there, it was pretty surreal, and I don't think I had any expectations for myself. I think we stopped at Japan for our pre-departure when we got there. I think I was just soaking it all in.
Yeah.
And at Beijing, it's a long time ago, so I don't remember all the details, but I was really young. I was, I think, 19. And it was just an opportunity to have fun and see what it was all about. And consequently, like, I didn't jump my absolute best, but I still jumped 226.
Yeah, which is
with messy technique as well.
Yeah.
So
3 centimeters off. Yeah. The
yeah.
29. So
Off my PB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, is that like in high jumping, that's a big margin, 3 centimeters, or?
Yeah, when you start getting to those heights,
it's
like
a big margin.
any increase, like it starts to feel big.
Yeah. And was
Yeah.
that a big crowd? So from what you've been
Yep.
used to, I'd assume that was pretty intense in terms of.
Yeah, it was a big crowd, but it certainly wasn't the craziest one that
Yep.
I've ever experienced.
What would that be?
For me, strangely enough, it wasn't any of the World Champs or the Olympics. It was the London Diamond League that I competed in, which might have been last year. And they were just wild. The crowd was just wild. It was roaring. It was like deafening. It was
Really?
it was insane.
Yeah.
So that was easily the craziest crowd
Wow.
I've ever experienced.
Wow.
Yeah.
So who were you in the 2015 World Champs? Who were you actually up against? Are there Olympians that you versed then that are still competing now?
It was so long ago,
Yeah.
but there would have had to be Barshim, Tamberi, I would imagine.
Yeah.
You would have to fact check me on
Yeah.
some of those, but there would have probably also been some other athletes who are no longer competing. Like maybe some of the Canadians, maybe Bondarenko from Ukraine, who's
Right.
not competing anymore, but he was a massive massive talent as well. Like he was jumping 240s, 243. But yeah, I think during that time it was just kind of cool being like, okay, like, you're going from a national kind of setting and then you're up
Global.
against these guys
Yeah.
who are also the best in their countries.
And were there Aussies there as well, like Brendan Stark, or was he a bit later? Or
Yeah,
he
I'm
there?
pretty sure
Was he?
Brandon Stark was there as well. I'm pretty sure he got into the final, by memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just us two. It's only really
Right.
been Brandon and myself who've
Been there for a long time.
who've kind of represented Australia in the high jump in, in the past kind of few years up until the last two.